ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, September 17th, and your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Your text line is open, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up today on the program, we're going to hear from one Matt Lewis, Assistant Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University, our weekly conversation with those at Marshall University. So Matt's coming on the program today, so we'll hear from him in just a few minutes, but that means plenty of time for you. And again, let me give that text line one more time, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You just joined us a while ago. We have baseball action for you this afternoon. Yesterday, the Cubs beat the Pirates 4-1, and so the final game of the series was earlier today, and the Pirates lost that one 8-4. Other action going on: the Guardians got the better of the Tigers yesterday, 7-5. That game went into 10 innings, so those two teams will meet tonight, and that's going to be around 6:40. Now, keeping an eye on the Reds and St. Louis, that game was earlier today, and the Cardinals got the win over the Reds yesterday, 3-0. Well, the turnabout's fair play. Cincinnati got the win earlier today, 6-2. So that's what it looks like as far as your baseball action is concerned. And we'll have as many of the Pirates games as we possibly can get in right here on ESPN 94.1 as AM 930. We got football. Football's taking up the schedule. So one of the things we'll touch on briefly, sort of just a brief reminder when we talk to Matt in a few minutes, is Hoops in Huntington is going to be coming back. We've mentioned this. So it's going to be October 16th, 6:30 on 3rd Avenue in front of Pullman Square. So we're in year number 4 of this event, and this is going to be the second go-around for Coach Jackson and Coach Folks. So this will be fun. It's one of the better, unique events where they set the basketball court up in the middle of the street, and it's really just, it's a fun event. It's much more entertaining than just, remember the old Midnight Madness? How many of you go back that way? Where Midnight Madness, where the first time you could actually practice. And so gymnasiums across the country would open up and have this Midnight Madness event where you get to see the team right at midnight. And it was okay. It was fun for a while, but everybody started doing it. So this is kind of an interesting take on that concept. Just having your event in the middle of the street. Hopefully the weather's going to hold for this, but it's been pretty cool so far these last few years. It's that more of that festive atmosphere, that festival atmosphere. You've got the court set up on 3rd right in front of Pullman Square, and you get the video board, sort of the mini WWE style board. That's kind of cool, and everything that goes on with it. And I'll tell you right now, the ladies and the men, they really get after each other. Very competitive in the events that they compete in. So that's coming up next few weeks. That's going to be October 16th. And, of course, we've got soccer coming up this weekend. We're going to, of course, preview on Friday the men's matchup, conference play beginning for the men, the women getting underway as well. Marshall taking on Coastal Carolina Friday. And then on Sunday, the women will take on Georgia State. So Bobby Iddings is going to join us on Friday. We'll preview Marshall and Coastal Carolina. That is a big matchup as the Herd has to start racking some wins up. Number 6 right now in the coaches poll. I'd like to see that go up a little bit. I'd like to see the Herd start hitting some wins, but especially in conference play, no more of this even draw result. I don't want to see that anymore. Marshall needs wins because I'm guaranteeing you right now, it's going to be a tight conference race, and it's going to always be, as long as both programs are the way they are, it's going to be Marshall, WVU battling probably for that 1-2 spot. And so as much as I get it, a draw is not bad. Wins are better right now. I don't want any of this. We didn't lose, but we played even with them. So that's kind of be the next focus. Hopefully this team will have put it together at this point. So we'll get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So we're going to open up the text line here in just a moment for you as Marshall's getting sent to take on Middle Tennessee. We're going to hear a little bit more from Coach Gibson. Didn't have a chance to get to everything he talked about this week, so we'll do that when we continue. And we'll also hear from you. And again, that text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Later on, Matt Lewis joins us, but we will hear from Coach Gibson as well when we continue on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
BOGO Wing Blitz!
What are you doing?
I'm practicing my order for the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. BOGO Wing Blitz!
And what is a BOGO Wing Blitz?
It's the best play in college football, baby!
The Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe College Game Day BOGO Wing Blitz. Every college football Saturday game day, buy one jumbo traditional wing and get one free. Plus, quench your thirst like a champion with domestic draft price, just $2.50.
BOGO Wing Blitz! Say
At the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue, downtown Huntington.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
Summer's winding down, your lawn's slowing up, and the leaves, they're already starting to drop. Robert's Lawn and Landscaping doesn't miss a beat. From final cuts to full fall cleanups, fresh mulch and winter prep, they've got your yard handled before the seasons change. Reliable, local, ready for what's next. Lock in your fall services now with Robert's Lawn and Landscaping. Visit robertslawn.com. Robert's Lawn and Landscaping, where every season starts strong, reliable, local, and ready for what's next.
It may be goodbye summer in Huntington, but it's hell of deals here at University Ford. Tough F-250s now up to $6,000 off. Escapes up to $5,000 off for just $299 a month. Broncos up to $4,000 off. Plus grab 1.9% financing and up to 125% of KBB for your trade. New ownership, improved process, better deals. Better deals. Visit us at University Ford in Huntington or online at universityfordwd.com. See dealer for complete details on all offers.
Are you looking to grow your business? Start with KFB, the Better Bank. From easy, flexible business checking accounts to finding the right loan to fuel your next big move, KFB is here for you every step of the way. Whether you're just starting out or expanding fast, we've got the tools, support, and local expertise to help your business thrive. KFB, the Better Bank, in Ashland, Summit, Catlettsburg, Louisa, and Wheelersburg. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Ashland Tomcats football season is in full swing, and the Tomcats have a new radio home, 97.9 The River. Download the app today or listen online at 979theriver.com. The legendary Dickie Martin will bring you all of the exciting play-by-play action. The Tomcats will hit the road this Friday for a battle with Russell. Ashland Tomcats football on 97.9 The River is sponsored by Kentucky Farmers Bank, McLeod's Body Shop, Community Trust Bank, and Putnam Restoration. Ashland Tomcats football from Kindred Communications.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, Metro News Talk Line 10:06 here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I want to welcome to the program now the Assistant Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement, Marshall University, Matt Lewis. Matt, welcome back. Good talking to you again, and we got a lot to get into.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for having me.
So, busy next few days on the pitch. We'll get there in a moment, but I just kind of want to remind folks once again that we've got coming up in the next few minutes Hoops in Huntington, and that's set for October 16th. You've been around a while. Just how cool has that event been? And if you can, briefly, maybe, I know you're under strict orders, don't reveal too much, but what can we expect from that event?
Yeah, for sure. Hoops in Huntington is always a super cool event. I mean, I remember when we did something similar back in the day, but it was in the rec center on campus, and then we tried to move it into the CAM, I think, for a year or two. We've had it downtown in Pullman Square now for a couple years, and I know everybody always looks forward to that at the start of basketball season. It's just so awesome to have the court down there at Pullman Square in front of the Visual Arts Center, have all the teams come out, do their friendly competition with each other, get the fans involved. We always choose some fans to do some contests on the court to try to win some cool prizes. It's always a really fun night.
Are you too young to remember Midnight Madness, when we would just actually all pile into the Cam Henderson Center, or other teams across the country would just do that at midnight? You're probably too young to remember that, and maybe that's a good thing it's no longer a thing.
No, Midnight Madness definitely is a thing that a lot of people do, and I do remember doing it in the past at Marshall. When I was, like I said, when I was a student, I believe they called it Rock the Rec, and they had the teams go to the rec center and do something. And then we moved it back in the CAM for a couple years. But, yeah, I remember Midnight Madness.
Okay, because I'm glad it's not at midnight anymore. Absolutely. That's just a little...
Yeah, it's a little late.
Yeah, just a little late. I could be doing other things. Some people like sleep. But, no, this has been a fun event. So kind of remind people, mark the date down, October 16th, 6:30, 3rd Avenue in front of Pullman Square. But, we've got soccer to get into. You got Friday and Sunday coming up. First up, Coastal Carolina's coming into Huntington. We got to start a conference play with the number 6 Marshall Thundering Herd. As conference season begins, what can we expect as far as fans are concerned? What do we need to know about what's happening maybe that hasn't happened yet this year? Basically tell me what kind of fun time it's going to be.
Yeah, excited to get conference play underway for men's soccer. Like you said, Coastal Carolina Friday at 7:15. That game's going to be our Kids Club game. So all Kids Club members get into the game for free. We got discounted tickets for Kids Club parents and families. And one of the cool things that everybody should be out on the look for, take a look at the team's warm-up shirts prior to the game starting on Friday. As part of our Kids Club game, we had a big competition, a T-shirt design competition with our Kids Club members, and we chose a winner, and that T-shirt that was designed by a Kids Club kid is going to be worn during the warm-ups by the whole team. So we just did it for women's soccer a few weeks ago, and it was amazing, and we're excited to have the winner come out and see their shirt and all the guys wearing it.
For those who maybe don't know enough about Kids Club and just thought, hey, that would be cool for my kid, what do they need to know to be a part of that?
Yeah, if you're interested in joining the Kids Club, you can just go to herdzone.com and sign up on there. Basically, if you're in the Kids Club, you get a bunch of exclusive deals. It's partnered with Wendy's, so you get exclusive deals at Wendy's, and then you get to be a part of cool things throughout the year. Another thing we're doing at the game Friday that I forgot to mention was Kids Club members get to come onto the field pregame and form a high-five tunnel for the team to walk through as they take the pitch during the intro. So it's just a lot of cool opportunities like that you get to be a part of if you join the Kids Club.
And is it free to join Kids Club, or is there a fee?
There's a fee. With the fee, you get a membership package. It includes a shirt. It includes a lanyard. You get a birthday card from Marco. You get an autograph book that you can take to all the games. You get autographs from all the teams. So, it's a really cool package. And like I said, if you're interested in signing up, you can just go to herdzone.com.
Okay, so Kids Club members get to take advantage of some really cool things there, and including designing cool shirts for the players. So what else can we expect from this game? Obviously, the game itself is going to be the big sell, but for the bigger kids that are not in the Kids Club, anything special happening for Friday?
Yeah, I mean, just a great soccer atmosphere. I like to think we have one of the best, if not the best, soccer atmosphere, definitely in the conference, if not the entire country. Obviously, you mentioned it. The new rankings came out yesterday for this week, and the Herder back up to number 6. So every game is a big game, and the atmosphere is always great at the Vet.
And what makes it really cool is Friday nights are usually reserved for high school football, but you've had some amazing crowds so far on these Friday night games, and these including the women as well. Let's not forget them. But these Friday night games have been really cool to have that kind of atmosphere for maybe, let's say, the students that don't have a local high school football team to go to on a Friday night. This has been a really great alternative.
For sure. Our Friday night games are always packed, and we are very close to capacity again for this game. So if you don't have your tickets yet, make sure you grab them soon.
So head over to herdzone.com, get those tickets. Are we talking about standing room only? We got maybe a few seats left. What are we looking at?
Maybe a few seats left over in Section 100, which is the newly added section on the far right side, the bleacher section. But, yeah, besides that, it's going to be standing room only, I think.
Okay, so if you want to go to this Friday night, get your tickets now. Marshall taking on Coastal. And then let's not forget Sunday. Marshall takes on Georgia State. We're in conference play there as well. Rafa's really got this team. This is the best they've looked in a long time, and Rafa's really taken charge of this, year 2 for him. So what can we expect special on Sunday as the ladies are trying to get a win in conference?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Rafa has done such an amazing job with this program. And like you said, we're only in year 2, and you can just see how much the team has grown and how well they're playing together. So I've been excited all year long watching them. And another big game, a home conference opener, you can say, on Sunday against Georgia State. That game is going to be our We Are Thankful game, which is our military appreciation game. If you went to some games this past week, football, men's soccer, we've had a lot of We Are Thankful games. They kind of all hit at the same time. So military members, they get, or first responders, there's discounted tickets for them. Our friends at Woodman Life are going to provide us with our big flag again that we roll out during the anthem. If you went to the football game this past week and you saw it, if you went to women's soccer last week against West Virginia, you saw it. We're always really grateful to Woodman Life for providing that flag for us, and then also ROTC and the alumni chapter for always giving us volunteers to help roll it out, because it is a pretty big flag. So that's what we got going on Sunday for women's soccer.
Okay, and that's coming up on the 21st. It's am I reading this right? Did I get the time right? 7 p.m. It's a late start, right?
It is a little Sunday night football.
Okay, I'm good with that. You can watch your favorite NFL team earlier in the day, and then head on down to Hoops Family Field for a little soccer with Georgia State coming up on Sunday. So we're joined by, and you know what, totally an upgrade from Ryan Crisp. Let's not lie. Matt Lewis is with us, Assistant Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement. So what's coming up for you? I know you're involved with a lot of projects, a lot of things that happen for you as well. You've got some personal things that you're really passionate about within the athletic department. So what's happening with you since we haven't had a chance to talk in a while?
Yeah, I think the last time we talked was probably at the end of the spring. I'm just busy with all the fall sports. It's honestly my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite season when it comes to athletics, because I oversee both of the soccer teams for marketing. Then obviously we have football going on as well, and volleyball. It's just a really exciting time in the fall, especially after the big break in the summer where there's no games. By the time you get to August, you're just like itching for some games to start. So I love this time of year for sure. And I just, working soccer games, football games, everything. I grew up in Charleston. Grew up a huge diehard Marshall fan. So, it never feels like coming to work in the morning. I just get to, come and do what I do at the place that I love.
Joining us on the program, he's Matt Lewis. He's the Assistant Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. And, of course, he's definitely a big part of soccer. We've got men coming up on Friday, women on Sunday. Should be fun. You alluded to volleyball briefly. How you feel? We're going into volleyball season. How you feeling about everything there?
Yeah, super exciting time for our volleyball program, too, with Coach Heather Stout, her first year as head coach. They're off to a pretty exciting start as well. It's been cool to watch just Heather, how she's taken over the program, and you can already see a lot of growth from that coaching staff and the team. So, yeah, exciting. All of our sports are exciting right now. If you haven't gotten out to see them, you need to.
That's always the best answer. All of our sports are exciting, but of course, I know there are a lot of other events going on as well. We alluded to volleyball. We've got softball coming up. That's going to be something that fans can maybe look into. Swimming as well. So, it's not just soccer this weekend. There are a lot of other things around campus for those that maybe didn't get a chance to make the trip to Middle Tennessee. So if you want to get that fix, you've got something for everyone this weekend.
For sure. Something for everybody. Like you said, got a little fall ball action with softball on Saturday. They take on West Virginia State at noon at Dot Hicks Field. And then we have our swim and dive, green and white meet at the Frederick and Fitch Natatorium inside the Camp Henderson Center. That starts at 11 o'clock on Saturday. So full weekend of herd events, all kinds of different sports. So you can't say there's nothing to do this weekend.
No, absolutely not. Matt Lewis with us, Assistant Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. And, of course, your evening will conclude right at bedtime probably, as you got to get ready for Monday and the new week. But it's going to be fun. Got a lot going on. Matt, thanks for doing it as always. Looking forward to it. And I'll see you at football here eventually.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Always good talking to you.
Matt Lewis, everyone, Assistant Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. Don't forget, a lot of soccer action coming up this weekend. We're going to get your text in just a few minutes, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Injured in a fall? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Our Kendrick Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Bigby Coffee, freshly ground, expertly roasted coffee. Swing by 126 State Street in Proctorville, Ohio. Bigby Coffee, more than coffee, it's community. Sandy's Racing and Gaming. Win big with Sandy's in Ashland. Sandy'sGaming.com. And Catamales, wood-fired specialty pies with the freshest farm-to-table ingredients. 126 State Street in Proctorville. They're serving the taste of Italy with love.
Cardinal Chevrolet says goodbye summer and hello deals. Silverados, 2.9% financing for 72 months or save, and this is no joke, up to $30,000 off MSRP. That's incredible. All EV models come with 0% financing for 60 months, plus up to 125% of KBB value for your trade. New ownership, improved processes, better deals. Visit our gorgeous facility right off I-64 in Hurricane or at CardinalChevy.com. Together, let's drive. See dealer for details.
Earn more with 4 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Poca Valley Bank locations today. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. MDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at mda.org today.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Wednesday edition of Your Drive. Our text line is now open. 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. The opponent this week for the Thundering Herd is Middle Tennessee, going back to the Conference USA days. And, of course, already Marshall has fallen once to a Conference USA foe, a new Conference USA foe in Missouri State. You don't want to do it twice in one season with Middle Tennessee, but you go down to Murfreesboro, and it's going to be trouble. I actually saw this a few times on social media yesterday. A texter brought this up as well. And if you don't know what the text of the context of the quote was, Tony Gibson was asked about, hey, you're going down, you're playing a historically tough Middle Tennessee team. Marshall teams just don't go down and win at Murfreesboro, in Murfreesboro. And a lot of people thought that maybe Coach wasn't giving it its due respect or respecting the history, because after all, it's a new coaching staff. He's never been to Murfreesboro. He has a staff that hasn't been to Murfreesboro. Most of those players, Marvay Myers has been. He was there, but most of these players haven't experienced what Marshall Middle Tennessee was back in the day. And just kind of to refresh you on what the quote was, here's Coach as far as, hey, what are you telling these guys about going down to Murfreesboro?
Not even talking about it. We got 72 new guys and a brand new staff. None of us have ever been there, so we're going to prepare, go play a football game. Doesn't matter where we play them, on I-40, 60, it doesn't matter. We're going to show up and go play and do what we need to do. That's our goal. So we have to be focused. We're playing a really good quarterback. This kid could throw the football. But I'm not even bringing that up. We're not bringing up the past. It has nothing to do with any of us.
And so instantly he said that yesterday, and some of you were like, whoa. Coach, let us remind you. You weren't here, but let us remind you. The last time Marshall went into a historically tough venue for Marshall football, one Woody Woodrum warned the previous coach, hey, Coach, that's a tough place. It's cursed or something. And so I saw his name come up a few times yesterday on social, and we had a couple people text us as well. And at first I was like, hey, I'm glad everyone still remembers Woody. I know it's only been a year, and it's been a painful year without him, but still, I'm glad people are still bringing him up, and I'm happy to talk about Woody every day for the rest of my life if we need to. But so Woody brings that up, and Coach Elf was kind of like, come on, we just beat Notre Dame. That was kind of the attitude. And then Bowling Green just ruined all of that. I think the circumstances are a little bit different because it's not as if Marshall went into Georgia and beat the Bulldogs, or it's not as if Marshall coming into this game on a 2-game winning streak. Beating EKU is fine. Solid opponent, historical in so many ways between the two. We can talk about that another time. This isn't the same, but Marshall has had a hard time going into Murfreesboro and winning against Middle Tennessee. 1-4 going in there. So it's not easy to do. So hopefully Coach is right. This is going to be completely a different situation for this team on Saturday. But we've heard this before, and we've seen this before. So don't be surprised if Marshall loses. I'm not hoping for it. I'm not wishing for it. I'm not predicting it. But don't be surprised, because Marshall has to go in and do it. Until Marshall can prove it can do it as a program a little bit more consistently, you always got to take heed. Like, okay, this is tough for the Herd. Middle Tennessee, of all places. Texter wants to know why Marshall's not playing Morehead State. They should play every year. Probably just didn't have a schedule availability, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think it's one of those things where the two programs are kind of avoiding each other. I just don't think you're going to see that scheduled every single year. I know that Morehead State has a lot of home games. They have got several games against, they've got Little Rock this year. They've got also, it looks like UT Martin's going to be there. Southeast Missouri is going to be there. Several games at home. I just don't think that maybe Marshall could fit it in the schedule, or Middle Tennessee couldn't fit it in the schedule. And I don't know if their entire schedule's out yet, because their first game listed is December 16th. So, those are all OVC games. They have not released their non-conference schedule yet. So if Morehead's on the schedule, maybe it's to be released later, just because they haven't released their non-conference schedule, or at least I don't have it based on their release. But Marshall begins its season technically with hoops in Huntington, but you've got the fans' first game against Alice Lloyd College. You've got Davis and Elkins, which is a exhibition game. And then, of course, you got UMass. You get started on November 3rd, and then you look at the rest of the way. Toledo, Elon, Virginia. You know the schedule. You hit that at Herd Zone. But I think that's just more of a scheduling quirk, scheduling issue. I would like to see Morehead on the schedule every single year. To be honest with you, the schools that I want to see Marshall play on a yearly basis: Ohio, Morehead State. I don't know if there's another school that it's hey, you got to play them yearly. I'm not even bringing up WVU, because until that looks like it's a reality, I'm not going to mention that one. But these are the two that I definitely would like to see on a yearly basis. And you know how I feel about Ohio. It makes perfect sense. Then, I know Marshall's got the game with Toledo, and that's fine. You can have Toledo on the schedule. I wish, and it probably makes more sense for fans that remember the Southern Conference days more so than maybe younger Herd fans, because a lot of fans grew up in the Mid-American Conference days. And then, of course, a lot of fans grew up in the Conference USA days. And so for you, hey, it's like, hey, Western Kentucky, that's your big rival, Western Kentucky. For others, you go in the MAC, and it's like, oh, it's Ohio. That's the big rivalry there. Miami, for me, you look at Ohio and Miami as far as rivalries are concerned. In the MAC, those are two I would point to. Going back to the Southern Conference days, it was ETSU and it was Chattanooga. Honestly, it was all those schools. I'm not going to lie. It was all those schools. But you got Appalachian State and you got Georgia Southern back, and that's great. Now, if Marshall could maybe work in now and then, just for me, ETSU, give me one now and then. Chattanooga, give me one of those now and then. And if you grew up as a Herd fan and the MAC was your big era, obviously Ohio is going to mean something to you, and Miami. So give me those two. I might be overlooking your favorite. And then Conference USA and basketball, more so than football, but I'm starting to warm up to this game on Saturday. Middle Tennessee, definitely. In basketball, oh yeah, that was fun. I've got no complaints there. And of course, I know a lot of people want to see Marshall, Western Kentucky. And so throw that in there, but you can't play all those schools every single year. So you got to play a schedule that you can manage. I would get rid of, this is just me, I would excuse myself from Toledo, because if the Sun Belt MAC Challenge is going to continue, obviously you're going to play at least a MAC school, different one, twice a year. Keep Ohio. Of course, WKU is on the schedule this year, so you've taken care of that. So, all right, you got my MAC school there. You've got my Sun Belt, my Conference USA school there. Can I get a Southern Conference school? Can I get one of those that Marshall used to play? So give me one of those. And then throw Morehead State in there. Just give me 4. Rotate those in. Get your OVC, throwback there with Morehead State. You've got your Sun Belt MAC Challenge. So I would pardon myself from any other MAC contest if it isn't Ohio. And then you can keep Western Kentucky, maybe get Middle Tennessee in there. I've got favorites. I'm sure you do as well. 304-396-TALK is that text line number, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. 304-396-8255. Let's go back to the text line before we hit the break. Texture says, I think Middle will be confident, maybe even cocky for their fans. Paul, how many fans will they have? I'm going to say 16 to 18,000 maybe. I think that was the attendance for the first game was in the 18,000 range, I think. The second game dropped off a little bit. And of course, that'll be supplemented with Marshall fans. It won't be the largest crowd. It won't be in their top 10 as far as crowd. I don't think actually any of the Marshall games were in the top 10 for crowds. But I would think we're looking at anywhere from 16 to 18,000 maybe. Herd fans travel, that could increase a little bit more. And, the Middle fans might be a little cocky. After all, the Herds have some problems as of late taking on Middle. Also from the text line, texter says, I'd like to see new teams on the schedule. I got to translate this. Texter is texting while driving, using their voice. If you're going to text while you drive, yes, use your voice. I will translate your text. So let me start from the beginning. Texter says, I'd like to see new teams on the schedule. I would like to see Evansville, Murray State. I'd like the series we have with Northern Iowa, and we've got a lot of conferences comparable to Sun Belt around us, and I'd like us to try to schedule more of those teams than just the MAC, because we see them all the time because we've got the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. All right, I think we all understood that. And yes, please, thank you for not texting while driving. If you're going to do that, use your voice. Absolutely acceptable. I do like seeing new teams on the schedule. There's some old favorites. Give me an old favorite or two, because after all, some of the old favorites are going to draw fans come in to watch them. For example, Marshall, Ohio, that should be a good crowd. Ohio travels, Marshall travels. It's not that far between the two campuses. It makes sense. Western Kentucky, there's just a lot of history there in a short period of time. Let's get that game going as much as possible. Morehead State, that game makes a lot of sense. A lot of history there. Perfect, makes sense. And then I would think that you could maybe get a Southern Conference school. That would be 4 right there. And if you don't want to go that deep into the history, that's fine. Give me Ohio at least. Give me Morehead State. Give me EKU now and then. Get them on the schedule. I'd take them in a heartbeat. And the rest come out with some interesting schools. And, try to bring opponents in that would excite Herd fans, and try to go to places where Herd fans would be excited to travel. That would be easy to travel to and would be exciting. Don't go far out west. I mean, make that a once-in-a-while trip and make it easy to get to, or make it easy for fans to maybe take a day to travel to that. But I like the idea, because there are plenty of schools around that play Division I basketball. Put them on the schedule that makes sense. Make it attractive as possible. And honestly, the big deal for Marshall is to win the conference at the end of the day. I know you're trying to play a numbers game, especially with this MAC Sun Belt Challenge, but at the end of the day, play some quality schools, play some schools that make sense, and you're going to have to play a money game here or there. There's just no getting out of that. You're going to have to take a money game in basketball, and I say 1, 2 at the most, but at the end of the day, whatever the schedule is, it's got to make sense for Marshall. It can't be this murderer's row, and at the same time, it can't be this schedule where you really don't find out about your team. It's going to be a tough balance, and so far, I think Coach Jackson has done a great job as the head coach of the Thundering Herd, so shout out to him. Quick timeout. We will continue with your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue, now delivering straight to your door. Wings, ribs, brisket, and more. Order online today at WVBBQ.com. Great barbecue, ice cold beer, and killer wings, all without leaving your couch. in Huntington.
Hi, I'm Elise Smith, First Lady of Marshall University and founder of the Women Warrior Summit. As a woman of Appalachia, you know how much strength it takes to shift direction, especially when you're carving a new path forward. Maybe you've been thinking about changing careers, going back to school, or even refocusing your energy on something you once loved. I am so proud to announce that the Women Warrior Summit is back for its third year, where we'll be focusing on the power of pivoting and how to approach life's turning points with clarity, courage, and intention. We'll hear from journalist, author, and entertainer Hoda Kotb, explore Jenny Blake's coveted pivot method, and even talk about how AI can support our next steps, whatever they may be. Join us Friday, October 24th at the Marshall Health Network Arena. Visit womenwarriorsummit.com to learn more. I hope to see you there.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
What if someone could tell you what pest control issues you are most likely to have at your house in the next couple of months? Basically, someone that has like a bug or rodent psychic. Wouldn't you want that same person to handle your pest control services now? That's what Patrick, Becca, and the whole team at K&B Pest Control can do. They can predict the future, and better yet, prevent it from happening at your house. Call them now, 304-523-4281. K&B Pest Control, they'll kill for your business.
Now in stock, hard-to-get Chevrolet Traxxas, over 50 available. More coming, starting under $23,000. The Car Ferry says clear the lot, 2026 is on the way. GMC 2026 Terrains, 40 in stock, up to $1,800 off. Mark Porter Chevy GMC in Ashland, Kentucky and Pomeroy, Ohio has truck. Take up to $14,000 off. 2025 GMC Sierras. Offer includes $3,500 owner loyalty rebate. Must own 2011 or newer Buick or GMC. Come to Route 7 and Route 33, Pomeroy, Ohio, or Greenup Avenue, Ashland, Kentucky. Over 800 GM vehicles available. Car dreams do come true. Sale ends September 2nd, all rebates to dealer.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
It's easier than you think for pests to threaten your family's health. Ticks, which spread dangerous diseases, hide in tall grasses and even on your pets. Rodents easily invade your home, contaminate food, and can carry more than 35 diseases. Mosquitoes, which breed in standing water, transmit many diseases. Get the facts you need to protect your family at pestworld.org. It's that easy. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We're wrapping up today's edition of The Drive with your text. Brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter writes in, apparently I got the text wrong, but I think I got the meaning right. Texter says, Paul, that was cocky players, not cocky fans. But you got it right, Paul. Both. Okay, I'm probably putting the emphasis on that. Maybe I'm inferring that, but I appreciate the text. Hey, I like it. Let's have a little fun with this series. A little swag between the fans. Sure, Marshall leads the series, very slim margin, 6-5. Sure, Marshall has beaten Middle Tennessee in some meaningful games. Let's go back to the 1AA days. Sure, Marshall is now out of Conference USA, so there's probably a little animosity here because Marshall left the conference and Middle Tennessee is stuck in Conference USA. But yeah, CUSA seems to be doing fine. It hasn't rolled over and died. It's still there. It's still trying to be a viable Division I conference. So I'd like to see, if I had my way, I'd like to see the addition of, I'm going to say this, Ohio obviously in the Sun Belt, but if by some means Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee could have found a way to get in the good graces of a majority of institutions in the Sun Belt, maybe come back, I get the desire to play Western Kentucky more than Middle Tennessee. But the more that I think about this series, I'm good with it. It's just at the time it was announced, the whole we're going to go to destinations for our fans. Our scheduling philosophy is we're going to take our fans to destinations. And it sounds like Murfreesboro's got some good eating these days. If you were with us yesterday, we spoke with Chip Walters. But at the end of the day, maybe if this game was presented to us with some destinations, then I might have been a little bit more excited for it at the time. As it is now, the more we get into it, the more I'm thinking, all right, this is going to be fun. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe if Marshall loses, oh yeah, we're definitely going to be into this the next time these two teams play. Because right now, you look at the schedule, Middle Tennessee's coming back in 2026. So if Marshall wins, I'm good. If Marshall loses, it's going to be tough. 2026 has Penn State on the road, Eastern Michigan. Now, if I had to trade games away, I would trade Eastern Michigan away at this moment. Middle Tennessee is the better game at this moment for me as far as a fan excitement level than Eastern Michigan. Eastern Kentucky is more exciting to me than Eastern Michigan. Penn State, you got to take that game. Middle Tennessee, home and home, perfect. Missouri State, I like the game so far. Not the result, but the game, I'm good with that. Missouri State, you can get them back in a nice rotation that makes sense. Viable, I think, opponent. And then Eastern Michigan, because you're going there in 2028. And 2026, you've got them as the final non-conference game. I'm not sure that give me Western Michigan. If you're going to give me a MAC school, give me Western Michigan. I would have taken Toledo. I would have taken Miami. I would have taken Akron. I would have taken Central Michigan. There are several schools in the Mid-American Conference I would have taken over Eastern Michigan. So I still scratch my head at that one. But that's next year's problem. This year's problem is coming up here in a few days as Marshall takes on Middle Tennessee. I promised we'd have Coach today. We're going to have a little bit more from him tomorrow. So I promise we'll get into that, and we'll definitely get more of your calls. Again, that is 304-396-TALK. That's our text line to be a part of the show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So I'm promising you we'll do a little bit more of that tomorrow. I'm trying to work on a couple of guests as well for the rest of the week. Friday, I think we've gotten taken care of. We got Marshall soccer to talk about. Bobby Iddings is going to join us, talk about Marshall and Coastal Carolina. And I think I've got someone lined up for tomorrow. And I don't think I'm going out on a limb here. We're trying to get on the program Marshall cross country sophomore Destiny Berryman. She was named the Sun Belt Conference Women's Cross Country Runner of the Week. So that came out today. So we're going to try to get her on the program. I'm hoping tomorrow if we can make that work. So that's what the rest of the week looks like so far. Thanks for being a part of it today. I really do appreciate it here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.